everyone, it's Desiree and I'm here again with Scrappy Tales, and we are going to use one color of cardstock but with a colorful background. And basically that's like creating a silhouette where you use a solid piece for the front and then the background can be whatever you're looking for. The piece that I'm going to be using from Scrappy Tales is called the A7 Intricate Oval. It's very pretty. It's got many elements. So you've got the outside lace border, you have the inner oval that you can cut out, you also have the floral in the center. Let's get started on our background. I'm going to be using Uncharted Mariner, Salvaged Patina, and then I'm going to use Saltwater Taffy out of my oxides. I'm using the old-fashioned, yes, they're old-fashioned already, blending tool, or mini blending tools. And I have different sizes and so forth. So I'm just pulling those out and putting a heavy coverage of these colors. I'm not worried so much about the blending, but I do want it to look blended. That made sense. Okay. So yes, I did make sure it was somewhat blended. Let's say that. Once I have that done, I'm going to spritz it with water. I am not one to lift off after I sprinkle with water or splatter with water. I love simply drying it. It looks even better if you can be patient and let it dry on its own. I'm not one of those people. I am not patient. Unless I have to go do something. Then I'll go. And let it dry naturally. But I love the look that it gets. The collection of the ink outside of those droplets and where they landed. It's almost like they're little lights onto the panel. Now, I should have used my 2-inch wide film tape, and I remember it right about now. I did put water on this, and even though it was sprayed on, there was still a good amount of water. The Bristol Vellum cardstock, it did warp. So right about now is where I'm like, okay, let's try it on the one layer. It did flatten the panel out when you only used it on the one side, but when you use 2 layers of this tape, it doesn't matter how warped that piece is, the piece will straighten out and be flat and not curve. This, after a little bit, did curve just slightly. Not much, just a little bit. But that's okay. Hey, we are not Hallmark. We are creators and we are creating our art. So yes. So that's our background. And I have a black mat going around that. I also used the black for the die cutting. So here's the frame. I'm going to put just little tiny dots of glue all the way around this piece, and I'm going to center it onto this panel. Well, at least try. I'm a little off, but it's okay. We let it go. So once we have the glue on, I'm going to turn it around, of course, and place it down in the center. Or at least put that center opening as best into the center as I can. And just because it's paper, it does not mean that you cannot stretch out that shape. You certainly can if you put a lot of force onto that. Here's the center. I cut that out of vellum, just using the inner oval. And now I'm going to put just dots of glue on the floral bouquet, the rose bouquet. Now, this would be beautiful if you did die cut inlay with this piece. There's so many options that you can choose to do for this card. But I chose the vellum because I wanted these colors that I chose to just come through. Just come through, but not take away from the rose. Once I have the floral on there, I'm just going to choose a few areas and put glue in behind the where the die cut sits, and I'm going to place that down. Now, of course, I didn't grab my, acrylic block. I grabbed my 3 oxide containers and then just went to town. I did not like the way that it looked, so I wanted to shift that vellum, and no worries, you can't see those white dots from pulling it off. I'm going to add some black gems to the outer points of this design, and then I'm just going to add a few along where the rose is. Very simple technique. Again, just using one color of cardstock and then just adding the inks that you have and that you like to create your background the way you would want that to look. I hope you enjoyed today's project. As always, the products that I used will be listed down below in the video description. And if you have any questions, make sure you leave those down below as well, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Forget to subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and make sure you ring the bell so that you'll be notified when the next video is available for your viewing. Enjoy what you create, and it doesn't matter what it is. If it's with paper, it's the perfect medium to create anything that you want. But remember what's most important for me. Always be creative, guys, and I will talk to you in the next one. Till then.